baby draw.
That's good.
Here you're just doing relaxed swings and just kind of letting it flow easily. You've got a good wrist hinge in the back swing, and you've got a nice rehinge on the follow through. Very nice.
I like that one a lot. Release.
Oh yeah. I never hit 3 in a row like that before.
Because you're not really thinking, you're just feeling. You're not writing a. Sometimes we think we have to write something on the blackboard in our mind and read it right before. No, it's not a reading. It is a feeling.
Right.
It did something extra on its own. I'm going to try it now. There was more relaxed. You almost want to have a wave of calm wash over you before you let it go.
Yeah, like the good practice swing followed by a.
That's right. So your pre-swing routine needs to be maybe just a capturing of that like the loose, rubbery feel in your hands and forearms.
Hit one.
Yeah, oh, that one. Relax, 80% swing.
It works. It works when you do it.
Soft arms, effort, 80%. We're trying to find something that allows you to hit 70% good drives, 100% an irrational, an unreasonable expectation. Even at the tour level, they don't do that. But we want to achieve this without complexity, without anything complex going on.
Right.
80% soft arms. Maybe put a blanket on those balls.
I was going to say, that one landed on top of the other one.
I think 4 of them have been landing on top of each other.
During the driver work, we started out hitting a lot of good shots, and then we kind of lost it temporarily, and we had to kind of find it again. I had you do this little tap drill, and I saw something that I wanted to analyze a little bit deeper. On the left was a practice swing as you were preparing to do that little drill where you're just kind of punching it down the center of the fairway with a half swing. And on the right is when you actually attempted to do that drill. And your setups look somewhat similar. It's hard to tell exactly, but it does appear that possibly when you're doing your practice swing, this distance from your hands to your legs is slightly closer than this. It's hard to know exactly, but it just looks like you might be, when you set up to the golf ball, that you might have reached just a little bit more. I'm going to look at the shaft position off your right arm. It's one of the things that instructors are trained to do in terms of looking at position. We basically, when a player is in the 5 position, which is when the left forearm is basically parallel to the ground, that we like the shaft to fall somewhere between the elbow and the bicep. Or the center of the bicep, and that is within that range of acceptability. On your ball swing, this is now you're actually attempting to hit that little tap shot down the middle, and when you're get into that 5 position, your shaft is much higher. It's up there by the shoulder, and that is a sign that you're going to be swinging a little bit over the top and come across the ball a little bit. And so you're coming from the inside on the left, you're in a little bit better position. So as you continue forward now, and keep in mind that the one on the left is not at a ball, but just a practice swing where you're just kind of doing a natural swing. And when the club is basically your club head is there and your shaft is here. So your shaft is pretty close to being parallel to the ground. That's called the sixth position. I'm going to take you down to a similar position. Your shaft is in a similar position as the one on the left. Club head is somewhere in here. It's blurry. But you'll notice that it's much different angle. It's not coming from, it's not parallel to your target. And you can also notice how this right elbow is much more tucked in to your hip, and this one's reaching out a little bit. As I frame advance it, you're going to see a little bit more space from the elbow and the right hip than you do on the left swing. So that's another indication that you're reaching out and separating, disconnecting the arm from the body, and you've lost that fundamentally sound body swing. As you hit through the ball, that separation and gap between your hands and legs is even greater now. Again, you're just showing a continued disconnect of the arms from the body.
That back and forth, feeling that right there, because I'm seeing a nice, your left arm is not tight, but it's extended. But you're creating the angles, the throwing angles in the fingers. You almost want to feel that waving of the club head around your wrist. Yeah, that's the load you need to feel, is in those wrist areas. Kind of do a little hand snap. Let's do that, which I want right now. We're kind of doing a little drill here with the driver. Feel the wrist. Yes, yes. Yeah. Pros create that club head speed through that load and unload, so their arms don't have to be that fast. So that's that section. You just kind of feel the wrist load and whip. Look at that ball. Look at that ball. This may be the missing piece right here. I know it is. You've got to feel that early wrist feed. It's all in the fingers of the right hand. The right hand is, that finger underneath the handle almost lifts the club head up above the hands. And then just whips through, effortless. Now your arms, you've removed the reason the arms were doing what they were doing. Well, shoot, if you're going to do that with your wrist, I don't have to do this. So I'll stop. So that is great. Do a little rehearsals because we're not playing golf, we're practicing. We're working golf. So I want you to let's focus on that wrist, that soft hinge, or lubricated wrist. That club head is moving back and forth, not your handle, but there you go, that had it. Yeah, that had it. So you'll feel it load in the wrist and then strike. Big difference? Yeah. Wow, that's a big difference. That was even more effortless, it looked like. You got to feel that and then do that. Feel it first before you get up to the golf ball, because it's not built in yet. It's all right. Tell you that better golf swing is inside of you, man. Once you own it, you just don't own it yet. But once you do, man, you're going to be a dynamic player. Just that effortless confidence. That's your miss hit they got on the green. That's compressing the ball so much better. It's all in that. We've got to get that right in there, right, that transition of the wrist. Ooh. Ooh. Those are great shots, Mike. Don't force it. It happens effortlessly. Just feel that wrist and effortless swing. Oh wow, what a one to finish on.